Welcome to the Connected Family System podcast. I am Jasmine Trotty Herring, creator of the Connected Family System, a framework designed to help parents build steady, intentional homes grounded in values and structure. In each episode, we'll explore how values, guiding principles, consistency, emotional regulation, and communication work together to create a home that holds. So, let's get started. Have you ever walked away from a parenting moment and thought, why did I respond like that? Or, I don't like how I handled that. If so, this episode is for you. Maybe you raised your voice. Maybe you enforced a rule that didn't quite make sense afterward. Maybe you just felt inconsistent. And after you already responded, you knew that wasn't quite right. That feeling, that internal pause afterward, is important. It tells you something. Those reactive moments likely stem from a lack of structure. Not because you don't care, not because you don't love your children, but because without a clear internal framework, decisions sometimes get made under pressure. When stress rises, many of us default to how we were raised, what feels urgent in the moment, or whatever stops the behavior the fastest. And just like that, instead of thriving, we're just surviving. And surviving can feel chaotic. Reactive parenting usually shows up when pressure overrides structure. So let's slow this down. Imagine your child talks back to you. If your internal framework is unclear, your thoughts might shift quickly from curiosity to certainty. They are being disrespectful. They are challenging your authority. They are getting worse in their behavior. You are losing control. Now, the moment grows bigger than it probably needed to. And without clarity, interpretation escalates everything of your responses quicker. From independence to disrespect or personality to disobedience. When those interpretations harden too quickly, responses often follow that intensity. Reactive parenting is usually a signal that one of two things is happening. Either your values are unclear or your structure isn't consistently protecting your values. When you haven't clearly defined what matters most in your home, your responses can get shaped by emotion instead of belief. And emotion can be unstable, whereas belief is usually steady. When you know your blueprint, what you actually have, your responses become steadier. Not necessarily softer or permissive, you're not necessarily giving permission, not even more rigid, just clearer. Instead of asking, how do I stop this right now? You begin asking, what do we believe about this? But here's the shift. When you ask what you believe, you move out of urgency and into intention. So let me give you an example. If you value respect, but you haven't defined what respect looks like in your home, then any tone shift can feel offensive. An eye roll, a sigh, a delayed response. It all can feel like a violation. But if you've defined respect as we don't speak with insults, or we speak without insults, we don't interrupt, or we let each other finish talking before we go to speak, we correct behavior without attacking character, or we don't name call or say that someone is a certain way just because they're behaving like that in that moment. Now you have structure. So when your child rolls their eyes, pause. You're not ignoring it, you're not minimizing it, you're not giving permission for them to roll their eyes. But you're asking, what part of our value is actually being challenged right now? The structure you have now slows you down. And this is important because there will be moments where you still feel frustrated, where you still feel tired, where you still need a break. But with the structure, you don't feel lost in those moments. You don't become reactive in those moments. You have a reference point to go to so you can respond to the behavior according to how you want to how you actually want to parent in that moment. So here's something to reflect on. When you feel most frustrated with your child, what value do you think you're trying to protect? I'll say it again. When you feel most frustrated with your child, what value do you think you're trying to protect? Or what value do you think they're violating? Is it respect? Is it safety? Is it responsibility? Or is it you're losing control? What value? And once you identify that value, ask yourself, have I clearly defined what that value looks like in our home? Because clarity is what turns reaction into intention. If this resonates with you and you'd like to support building your own system, I offer live workshops where we walk through the process together. You can find the details at theconnectedfamilysystem.com. Again, that is theconnectedfamilysystem.com. Have a great day. Bye.